filmmaker that I quite I discovered him with his second film, and this is his third film. Andrea, I'm going to screw up his name, Pallaoro, I believe is how you pronounce his name, who did this fantastic film called Hannah with Charlotte Rampling that won, I believe, at in Venice, would be showcased at TIFF. That's where I discovered it. And for me, it was just like, I don't use the word masterwork lightly, but yeah, his film Hannah was just blew me away. So he's been trying to put together this third project called Monica. No names had been attached to the project in the past, but so they named Trace, Lysette, Patricia Clarkson, Anna Paquin, and Adriana Barraza, who we know from Babel. And it's, what I find interesting is that we're using an actor in a role that's very much, that they can very much identify with. And essentially, Monica tells a story of somebody that's returning to the Midwest to take care of family, a dying mother in this case, and sort of like, we're going to explore that world of how that family might have been fractured, and sort of like what to expect when everything comes together in a really compassionate setting. So yeah, what are your immediate thoughts about this project?
Well, there's two things. We should point out that it's actually the story of a transgender woman who travels back to the Midwest to take care of her dying mother. So that's a really important element.
Yeah.
And honestly, you draft what we're going to talk about each week, and I take a look. And I looked at this, and I was like, I don't know, like I don't know the filmmaker, but hearing you talk about Hannah has now made me that much more interested in this project. I had no idea. So yeah, I mean, I'm always excited when a foreign filmmaker can use their festival success to sort of take the next step and come to Hollywood in a way, use Hollywood actors, but still retain their voice. And that's what this really seems like to me, like a filmmaker who's made their mark on Toronto and Venice, and is now do something still in their voice, but maybe with a bit more money and a bit more clout behind it.
Yeah, there's a couple of things I want to mention. Is that he cast the role. A lot of there's sort of like a backlash right now, people being cast for roles that shouldn't necessarily be assigned to them. And here he's sort of like going a little bit like what Sebastian Lelio did with Gloria, and sort of like finding the perfect person to go into the discord, or to go into the mindset of the character. And I think it sort of like traces a little bit what this actress might have felt like or dealt with in her own past. So I think there's some added value to that. And going back to Hannah, Charlotte Rampling, it's almost like, I would say the second part of Hannah is all, there's very little dialogue in that it, all the struggle she's going with is internally processed, and just fills up the screen with so much angst and sorrow, and really putting the weight of the world on one person's shoulders. And so I'm curious how sort of like that DNA will translate here, seeing that it might be a more of an ensemble project. But yeah, definitely worth checking out his second film. And his first film was also at the Venice Film Festival. So I myself have to go and revisit. I'm Eric Lavallée. I'm editor-in-chief and site owner for IONCINEMA.com. And this is
Kevin Jagernauth, contributing writer for the playlist.
And together we are IndieSponge.